Hey everyone. I hope you guys are in the building and I hope you're doing well. So, hey to all my elites on YouTube and those that's with me on Facebook and all across the social media platforms.
I wanted to say hello, money makers, for any of you guys that are coming from my channel. If you guys aren't familiar with me, my name is Diamond Chanel, and I have a YouTube channel. I talk about all things money, and I'm super excited about tonight's live. I know we were MIA last week, so we're excited to get back to it tonight, and we have so much to talk about. We have some really great guests that is going to have a wealth of knowledge on our topics for tonight. If you guys could let us know where you are tuning in from, that would be great. We're tuning in here from Texas, and we would love to know where you guys are coming from.
Thank y'all for joining us. And also, I want to just let y'all know, Diamond, what you dropped this week on your videos, your latest video.
Yeah, so I the last couple of videos I've had, if you guys are looking for any type of remote work, I know there's still a lot of people that are looking for remote jobs, but remote jobs have become a lot more sparse than they were before. But I continuously drop different ways to make money. So I have one video that's 12 remote jobs that you can do without having to talk on the phone. So these are not customer service, because I know a lot of people don't like customer service. I have 14 remote jobs that you can do without talking on the phone. And truthfully, I forgot the last video I dropped. But if you guys are ever looking for ways to make money, you guys can definitely follow my channel, and I'm going to leave the link here in the chat for you.
And also this week I dropped a video on how to make $2,000 in 48 hours. I'm going to drop that for you guys. Thank y'all from coming in from Virginia. I see you, Chesapeake in the house, Florida, everyone, Alabama. I see Birmingham and Chicago. The reason why I want y'all to check that out, now a lot of people having problems with their credit because they need to make money. A lot of people don't really have a credit problem. You got a cash flow problem. So just like with our guest tonight that we're bringing on, we're trying to, our objective is to open up your mind. Not just only if you're here with Diamond Channel talking about making money, but also pair it up with credit, because a lot of you guys can get much further in life if you start not just thinking on a consumer base, but on a business base. So we're trying to introduce ideas to you to maybe do a paradigm shift, because a lot of people credit, they have struggles, they have debt because they just don't have enough cash flow. And
Right.
I talk about it all the time. I never met a person that just said one day, you know what? I'm just going to jack up my credit. No, they had an issue. Either they lost a job, they got sick, something. So our guests tonight are also business owners, and they are just not just sitting here telling you about things. They are clients themselves. They had personal experiences. They had struggles, and they're Gloria and Marvin Smith, and they're going to talk about how you can increase your credit score. We'll be talking about tonight, and leverage that to get business credit, you guys. So I want to bring them in on the stage tonight, and you guys welcome them, sit back and get their information that they have to give. They also have a YouTube channel, and we're going to leave that information for you guys to follow them, because they've been in this business over a decade. And so we're bringing to the stage Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I don't know, y'all knew about that movie back in the day.
Right.
Gloria and Marvin Smith. How are you?
Hello. How y'all doing?
Wonderful. How are you?
Awesome.
Amazing.
Great.
Now we wanted to want you guys to really let the audience know about your backstory. And
Okay.
everybody, as y'all come in, do us a favor and just hit the like button wherever you are. Give us
Yes,
a thumbs
please.
up please, tonight. And they're going to tell y'all about their origin story and how they got here.
Yeah, so I started out in construction, 19 years old, straight out of high school, started my first business.
Yes.
And that was kind of the journey of with me with business credit. My first bookkeeper taught me about Dun and Bradstreet in 1993. I mean, it's just before the internet. So I had to walk in and do all these applications. But I stayed in construction for about 10 years. I ended up losing my business. I broke up with my partner. Like everything bad that could happen, like you said, I didn't just go looking for bad credit. Stuff started happening. And and it was the first time in my life, one of my employees had an accident in my truck, accidentally killed somebody. I mean, it was bad.
Geez.
Like when I say bad, everything that could have happened happened. And I ended up losing that business. I fought hard, but you know, eventually I wasn't making enough money to keep up with all the expenses, and business slowed down. So that was like my journey into business funding. So I knew my banker real well. I had known her since I was 19. So I told her, I was like, look, Patrice, I ain't gonna be able to pay these bills. I'm like, I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you.
Yes.
It's not gonna happen. So, you know, she started talking to me and I started asking her, like, how did you get me this loan or that loan? Because all I knew, she would be like, Marvin, what do you need? I need a new truck, or I need this. And I didn't really understand credit, to be totally honest, till I was about 26 or 27. I wanted a motorcycle. And that's when I was like, all right, what is my personal credit? Because for years, I bought everything in my business credit, because I had a nice truck. So that's all I needed. I ended up buying a building when I was 20, the apartment building I stayed in. And so slowly I started to understand about credit. And then she let me keep the product book. I asked her, could I see it to learn about loans? And that's when it started to click. Like, you got to have a certain credit score. You got to have it. You got to have that. And then the bankers refer to them as products. We always talk about loans, lines of credit, credit cards, but they looked at it, you know, as products. And shortly after that, I started helping businesses get funded. And then I jumped into real estate. Then eventually I lost everything again in real estate. And then I met Gloria shortly after.
Yes.
Yeah. And tell me your backstory, man.
Yeah, your story, Gloria. You come on now. You got a story.
So, you know, like Marvin said, life be life, and guys, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're going through something, trust me, we've been there.
Yeah.
So I started off, I came from corporate America. I used to work at Ford, General Motors, and Yamaha. I was a manager there. And I took all of these classes, and, you know, it's like, you think I was like, okay, I need to be a business owner. You know, it was in my blood. I was born to be a business owner. So I started reading the book, The Purpose Driven Life, got on this path, left corporate America to fulfill my dreams. Okay. Because I came from management, I thought that qualified me. I have a degree that qualifies me to be able to run a business, which that necessarily does not qualify you. I'm like, okay, they paid all this money for me to take all of these classes, you know, so I'm qualified to be a business owner. Because I can manage people. But that didn't mean that I knew how to do books and all of that good stuff. So I opened a restaurant. I lost everything, my house, my car. You know, I lost everything, you know, because I had a dream, a vision. I pulled all my money out of my 401k. And, you know, it's like, I tell Marvin this all the time. It's like, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that I made, because I owned a restaurant and it was a cash business, you know, you get money every day. So I kept, and a lot of business owners do this. I kept telling myself, oh, I'm going to pay my car note. I got to keep this going. I need to pay this first because this is cash. I get money every day. I can make up on that. Right. You know, until I end up losing my house and my car because I wasn't doing anything but keep feeding the business and I wasn't taking care of myself. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that business owners make, is not pay yourself first. We go and we pay everybody else, the light bill, the gas bill, the employees, but you need to take care of you first. And then everybody else get paid. And whatever come up short, it come up short, but I'm gonna get paid first. You know, because I lost everything. not paying myself first. And then I met my amazing husband, and I had like 3 restaurants. So, you know, if you're listening to this, it's okay to fail, because there's no success without failure. We have to fail to succeed.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had to fail a couple of times and bump my head until I got it right. And now we have an amazing restaurant. We live in Puerto Rico, and it runs. And we've had it for going on 6 years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
congratulations. And it's you said something really powerful that I think a lot of business owners and just a lot of people in general don't understand when you're starting in business. I made that mistake myself. A lot of us just pull our own cash, you know, we throw our own cash into things, and it makes it so much harder because you don't have working capital. And one of the things that I'm trying to get people to see, you don't have to make the same mistakes I made. You know what I'm saying? Anybody. Because when you're working in your own personal name, I found that really quick in real estate, there's a glass ceiling that you can work in your own personal name. You need to leverage business credit. And you want to leverage business credit while your credit is good. And business credit is an avenue and a tool to keep your credit good. And so it was like, it's like now a light bulb going off, you know, and it's one of those things that I know you guys are passionate about. And people really need to know this, especially for those who are business owners. Diamond, do you have anything to add and chime in?
Well, I actually wanted to ask a question. I wanted to ask, you know, as we're transitioning into the topic about business credit, like you said, there's a lot of pitfalls when it comes to entrepreneurship. And like Gloria said, you might think that you want to be a business owner, and then you get in it and you're like, wait, the things that I thought made me, like, you know, entrepreneurial, I need to go back to the drawing board. So my question to Marvin and Gloria would be, if you guys could break it down, maybe in like a 3 to 5 step process, what is the first thing that people need to do before they even start a business and start considering business credit?
Well, the one thing I love to say to anybody is write your goals down. You know, I just really feel like if you don't sit down and write your goals down, you have no idea where you're headed, how to get started, what to do. So I think if I have one definite thing to say, it'd be write your goals down. After that, start to interview people, like whether it be a bookkeeper, so you can learn more about bookkeeping, or an attorney, you know, even to get your LLC started or your corporation started, an accountant. You know, it's like, it's so many different things that you have to learn even to start a business.
And I agree with Marvin. And one of the most, you know, like, we have a mentorship, and in our mentorship, I just brought an accountant on to talk to our mentees about the entity of their business. You know, like, we all think we can do everything ourselves, because I was one of those people where oh, it's so easy, you can just go on the irs.gov and get you an EIN number. But just because you have an EIN number doesn't mean that you're setting your business up properly.
Correct.
And these things can keep you from getting those $50,000 or $100,000 loans, you know? So it's really important that you talk to somebody about how you set it up. You know, we have these goals and these dreams of how we want to be an entrepreneur, and we think it's so easy, because I was one of those people, and it's really not. It's, you know, you need to do the research on what business that you're trying to go into. Do a lot of reading. You know, like Marvin and I, we do a lot of reading, because that's the only way that you're going to scale your business, you know, and get you an expert, get you a coach or a mentor. There's, you know, I didn't start scaling until I actually got a mentor and a coach in my business. Same you know, thing, it's like, why do I need to, I need to speak to somebody who already accomplish where I'm trying to go,
or made the mistakes,
you know what I'm saying? Give me that roadmap, so I don't make those mistakes, you know.
And if I would say those three things, like goals, start to interview a team, business plan, And then, like Gloria said, really think about the structure before you actually set it up. We hear all these things on YouTube, Instagram. Oh, set up an LLC, but what type of LLC?
Is it an S
Is it an
corp,
S corp? Is
C
it
corp?
yeah? All of that, even before you start the business, is super important because, like the credit account we had on the other day, he said something so powerful. He was like, "You can start off with a certain structure in the beginning because you're a business making six figures, let's say that. But when you go to seven figures and up, you may need to change that structure for taxes."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And depending on the type of business and the size of the business.
Most
and
definitely.
so I do know it's another thing I feel like where y'all are talking about kind of in the same like the early 2000s where I started, and we didn't have the benefit of this information.
Oh
And
man.
one thing I can tell people, because I do get it, I see a lot of people, or I watch some lives, and people say where you guys are, and y'all know Mr. Smith, Corey was on, and you know, when you got people that's really like my brother Mike said, keep it moving, people actually grow beyond and they can see different things that a person who's on a 9 to 5 maybe can't. And this is where I love this new generation of gig economy. I think the gig economy for people could be a baby step of learning business, because there's a lot of people that they have what they call side hustles, but it can be a real profitable business.
Yes.
They see it that way. And I think especially I talk to a lot of people on my channel, and I think you guys are really beneficial to maybe speak to that, because a lot of what people call just side hustle, I need some extra cash, could be your ticket off of that 9 to 5. So can you guys speak to that? Because I know you guys coach people in that expansion on that point.
Yeah, you're right about that. I want to say maybe about 30-40% of the people we coach are doing side hustles. Like we have one lady in particular, she's starting a paint and sip, like the art thing.
Yes.
So she came to us wanting to do I think like travel bags for women. And I was, Gloria and I, we took her through the beginning of our mentorship. And I said, have you ever thought about paint and sip? I said, you're an artist, obviously. And she was like, well, yeah, my girlfriends ask me to do it all the time. So kind of like to what you're saying, it's something she already loves to do. And that's what makes a business easier, is when you love to do it.
Most definitely. And your side hustle can become your main hustle.
Yeah.
If you just go ahead and structure it right. We know people who have taken their side hustle and now it's their main hustle, and they're making a lot of money.
Yeah, we know two other, the reason why we mentioned it to her, we know two other women who are artists who make well over $1 million at home doing paint and sip.
Yeah.
They send out the products to whoever's going to do the client. And it was so ironic. Gloria did that for her birthday last year with her girlfriends.
Yeah.
It was like 11 of them. They had got the, all the easels and the paint in the mail. And then they had somebody over Zoom, showing them the steps of painting. And I was like, and she's excited about it.
It was so cool. We had such an amazing time. We were walking around drinking our wine, everybody showing each other their paintings. It was like, it felt good. It was like girl time, that woosah that doesn't cost you a lot of money,
Wow.
So.
And that side hustle for her, when we did the research, because we'll help you, if it's a new business, we'll show you how you can do research pretty fast. And so she ended up finding 3 companies that she wanted to model her company off. And she still has her full-time job, and she's getting ready to launch. Isn't it her first?
Yeah.
Her first paint and sip, I guess a class or whatever. And so like, you're right. A side hustle could very well, and it's probably the safest way to start a business. So if you mess up, it's not like you lose your house, you lose your car, all of this stuff. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Maybe let me try something different. So a side hustle is a very safe way to get started.
Yeah. And Diamond, can you chime in, because you coach a lot of people, or you did sit downs, and that's one of your things, is to turn your passion into a business. Can you
Mhm.
speak on how are people struggle with really getting the capital to get it started?
Yeah, for sure. One thing when you're out and about, which is really cool about what Marvin and Gloria said, when you're out and about and you're like enjoying these different things, you see a lot of business opportunities out there that a lot of people might not even realize that they're in. For an example, well, two examples. First example, I got my hair braided today, and the
Yeah.
girl I always go to, she has a full-time job, but she also braids hair, but she doesn't really like the process of actually braiding because it's a side hustle that's helping pay the rent, but at the same time, that means that you have to be the one on your feet, using your hands, doing all this. So for a long time, I kept telling her, you just need to put your stuff on Instagram. You need to put your stuff on social media. And so she was a bit reluctant, and she finally started doing it, and she started to realize that her videos started to blow up when she would do thank you guys for someone who said my hair looks nice. Her videos would start to blow up when she did the tutorials. And so I asked her, I said, I see that your videos are doing really well, but I noticed it's the tutorials. I was like, do you think is it people on your social media page that wants to learn how to braid hair? Are these beauticians? Are these people looking to do it yourself, do it themselves? But just by her posting that content, people start coming into her DMs saying, hey, can you do a class on how you do the
Wow.
braid so neat? Can you do a class on this? And it's from other people that are already doing hair that want to know how to do hair better. So I said, you need to get while you have someone like me in your seat, turn your camera on. You could be doing a whole webinar right now.
Yeah.
And there you can make let's say you have 20 people in a class, and let's say you're charging $100 per person or something like that to do this class, plus you have somebody in your seat. You're making multiple streams of income at that same time
Yes.
from this one from this one side hustle. And the goal is not to be an employee in your own business, but to find
Yes.
different ways to make your money kind of work for you, and to have multiplication in your side hustles. Another example is I did a cooking class with a young lady who was doing it out of her house. She has this beautiful house, and then she had these portable stoves or whatever like that I saw you could find on Amazon. And she would play music. There was complimentary drinks, and she showed me how to cook steak and all of this stuff and a
Yeah.
dessert. And I told her, "Are you on social media?" And she like, "I know I gotta do it. I know I gotta do it." But being on social media isn't about being an influencer. And we were talking about this earlier. It's about letting people know that you're there, that you exist,
Yes.
and that you have something to offer, and that people can pay you for it. And it doesn't matter what it is. So, just using your passions, your talents, your experiences, anything like that, and finding different ways to multiply it through digital products, through so
Yeah.
many different things. And then it's not even like, let's say with the young lady with cooking, she could get more people in a class, which would give her more money. But then she could turn around and tell somebody else, this is how I started this business out my home,
Most
you know?
definitely.
That's it.
And so there's so many different ways. And I really love the fact that social media and the internet in general has opened up a different avenue for us to make more money in such an earlier way.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, I wish, like Sherry said, I wish we had this in the early 2000s.
The early 2000s, and what we all are in is media. And I think y'all don't, and that's why I want you guys here, because people don't understand just doing social media is a thing that open you up to business credit. Like,
All day.
people don't understand that if you have a solid credit score,
Yes.
680 and up,
Yes.
you look responsible on your profile, there is money. Easily you can get 50,000. Like, I don't think
Yes.
people know that the bag that you can get,
Yes.
you leverage
Yes.
your personal credit. And one thing Corey said, and I just like he said, because his book was Credit is for Poor People. And I
Yes.
didn't understand that. But what he was saying is, with poor people, you don't have anything but your name.
Right.
Your name can make you not be poor if you leverage your name. And this is what we're saying about business credit.
Right.
And what we learn to know, you don't have to bootstrap your dream.
Yes.
You have good personal credit, you can become a millionaire. And Marvin, you can speak to this on how and actually have mentor people to get access to millions.
Yes.
That's by
Yeah.
a strong personal credit profile. So,
Yes.
and I just want to touch on one last thing for you to speak on that. One thing I love what you said is products. That's what it was in that book. It was products. One thing I try to tell people, they get so frustrated at the banks and the banking system. And I tell them, banks need you more than you need. Banks make money off of interest. Yes. They don't have shirts to sell you. Their products is their credit cards. Y'all don't understand where you fit in that equation. Right. You can't have a 580 credit score and want to be at Chase. The model just don't work like that unless it's secured on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're just not there. There's products the banks have for you. Even Chase got a secured product. You might not want that at a 580 credit score, but the Sapphire Reserve is not made for you. With
right.
The bank, y'all know what I'm talking about now.
Right.
I'm lying. The problem and the frustration and with folk, you want a Gucci bag or you want the Prada when you really at the Kmart bag over here or the whatchamacallit for right now, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's both.
Exactly. Yeah.
But and you get the job done. But it's not the bank ain't mad at you. You're just not fitting in the right product. You know? And so that's what people have to understand. You can get those credit card lines. You can get the bank wants to give you money. Like
definitely.
Let's be honest, the bank ain't going to stay in business if they ain't giving out loans.
Yes.
They want to, and people get so frustrated. But the thing is, you won't even loan money to you.
Right.
No, I'm just be honest. It be the same folks that won't get a cousin that burnt them off for $20.
Right.
That mad that you done bankrupted American Express. You done bankrupt Chase, and you got it all off of your credit score. And you look at, well, why won't they work with me? Because you didn't pay them folks.
Correct.
And sometimes people need to understand how to pay people. You can't earn everybody. You know what I'm saying? I tell people about, you don't want to live in the ghettos of credit all your life. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
No, I just be honest. I don't want what's good of an 850 credit score and all I got is First Premier. That is not a quality of life. And so people have to understand that those products, those things can be for you. Well, where are you right now?
Most definitely.
Exactly. And
you can speak to that, like to let them know that $2 million is for you.
Yes.
Importantly,
Yes. No, we have, like you said, we have coached people that came to us. One guy in particular was sleeping on somebody's floor at their house. I'll never forget this. And he told me the story later. We ended up helping him get his credit straight. He got funded. And now this man, I know he's made well over 7 figures. He has a 7,000 square foot house. He did. I don't know if he sold it or not. But he went from building his credit up, like you said.
He didn't have a car.
Yeah, he didn't have a car.
He didn't have a driver's license.
Yeah.
He told me he was getting ready to go to jail for child support.
We didn't understand that.
And I didn't understand. I said,
you just got to pay them folks.
Yeah.
Look, Sherry, I was like, you got to pay them folks.
Yeah.
I said, they don't want you to go to jail. They want you paying.
So he had a company. I had him put himself on payroll. That's one of the things that we have to do. We got to put ourselves on payroll.
Yes.
Because if you want to get to the bag, you want to get big money.
Right.
It's not just going to fall in your lap.
Right.
I remember when I first met Marvin, Marvin said, Gloria, would you pay $30,000 to have access to like 1.2 million? I was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Yes. He was talking about, well, you have to pay the government. You got to pay your taxes.
You got to pay the government.
Stop writing everything off.
Yeah.
We always want something for nothing.
Yeah.
You have to clean it up, and that's one of the things that we teach. We show you how to get to the bag. we can't keep skating like you said. You know, you got to pay somebody.
Right.
You can't just keep skating and thinking that you go become this millionaire off of just skating or writing everything off. It doesn't work that way.
And like you said, the bank wants to partner with you, but they want to partner with responsible people. And it's all about relationship. Like when I was 19 and started my first bank account with that bank, they called me when I was about 25, 26, the president of the bank. He said, Marvin, we want to meet with you. And I'm thinking I'd have paid everything on time. Like what they want to meet about. He said, we're going to put you in what we call a circle of influence. And I was like, okay, what does that mean? And he said, well, you no longer have to wait in line when you come to the bank. If you want a loan, we're going to send a bank officer to your office. Wow. I mean, all these perks. Now imagine I'm 25, 26 in the 90s. Like they do stuff like this. And so he was basically like, you've been with us and you've been responsible for all these years. So, and then you bring us a lot of business. And this is another thing. People don't realize banks will they got the refer a friend program. They'll pay you to bring people to them. So really, if you work that relationship right, they'll let you borrow whatever you can afford. And, they'll treat you different as you establish that relationship. And that's what we teach a lot in our mentorship. A lot of people want to go to, well, I heard about Chase. I heard about Navy. I heard about this. I said, no, we're not doing that. We are not going all over the place at once. I said, we're going to go to one place, get things done, and then see how many products we can get at that one place. While you trying to get all this one card you heard about at all these banks, you may be able to get several products at one bank. And then like what you said, Sherry, a lot of people don't understand what they really need. Yeah. I get so many real estate investors that want to get a unsecured loan to pay cash for a house. And that's not what you're supposed to do. You got to find out what products the bank has. First, tell them what you're trying to do, because they have all kinds of products that you can, get.
There's products that you wouldn't even think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like banks have a lot of products. Yeah. Like, your credit score high enough, they'll even give you They'll give you a letter stating they'll verify funds for you. Yeah. Like there's so many different ways that you can scale, but we know not because we ask not.
Yeah.
You have to get the information. Like, I'm so big, Sherry, on getting in the room.
Yeah.
Marvin and we get in a lot of mentorships. Like we don't just offer a mentorship. We have mentors too.
Yeah.
We pay for mentorships. We get in the room because that's important. People need to be around like-minded people. Yeah. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm in the wrong room.
Right.
And I want to follow up on that. That's how we met. This is how And I think a lot of people, and this is why we do this platform, just to speak to even with what you're saying, Marvin, about paying taxes.
Yeah.
It happened with a lot of business owners by starting off out of their pocket. They're so cash strapped. And this is why I want to bring this information to all you guys. You don't have to be cash strapped. If you're starting off with a solid personal credit profile where you're getting the money and you're not really paying out of your pocket, then you have working capital. And then it gives you that breathing room where you can set up those things. Like you said, Gloria, you can start from the door by getting an accountant, getting certain systems, hiring people, and operating your business at the same time. And so with you guys, like, one thing the core is about with the bank, always learn to start to understand the bank is just looking at you as a risk. It's just like if you got that, we all got that cousin in our family.
Right.
That they don't nobody back. No, I'm just saying, because a lot of people get so bitter out here at the banks. But certain things, they won't do that themselves. Like they don't understand. The bank want to be paid back. Just you want to be paid back. So we all know we have a relative in our family that is known not to pay anybody back.
Yeah.
We know they're not employed right now.
Right.
And I'm just doing it. I'm not trying to down people, but to understand
Yeah.
this is how the banks look
Oh,
at this.
definitely.
You
Right.
know, we know that person. You know that person is not employed at this current moment in time.
Right.
You know they're going through a hard time, and they want, well, let me hold $2,000. You want to be like, because I might not can give you, all I can give you is 20 right now. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what's happening with your credit cards. This is what happened because what's going on, the banks only trust you as far as the last bank trusts you. People don't do that. They don't get, why I keep getting these small credit cards? Because you haven't worked the relationship you got with that current bank to get that $5,000 credit card.
There you go.
See, once they see certain bank cards and certain relationships reporting on your credit profile, if you got that real estate on reporting on that credit profile, they know you done been through the fire.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? They already know, you know, like certain things. So what I try to tell people is not a lot about the credit score.
Right.
It's about how you set up your profile. You know, like these things hold merit. So think about it. And that's why I tell them, think about that person in your family. We have those cousins in our family. We know so-and-so doing their thing over there. You know, so-and-so had businesses or this or that. Like my daddy is one of them people. Right. Never been broke. On Diamond, you know, Papa ain't never been broke. Right. You know what I'm saying? My father always been that kind of person, got some cash and it's fine. So if he asks, hey, can I hold this? I'm going to give this back. Not only have I never known him not to have the money to pay it back, but he also has certain assets that you don't give me my money back coming after this. Right. So this is the same thing as the bank look at y'all too.
Yes. Yeah.
So when you have a home, you know what the bank know? Baby, take this. You know what the bank know? I got some collateral to go after because people don't understand that LexisNexis. Yeah. All of that working in the background told the bank how much you purchased that property for.
Yes.
And how much the value is right now and how much I can get back. So a lot of people really, I don't think they understand that. They don't look like at the bank as a business. They look at things personally. And that's why as a landlord, I used to have to tell people why I can't have my pet because your pet don't make me no money. Your pet is just liable to bite the baby downstairs and cost me money. And I had to explain it like that. See, you looking at it as you live here. I look at it as a business.
Yes.
So there's nothing but liability from me. There's no win from me. You know, and so y'all, a lot of people have to look at it like that. Because if they can approach it like that, if you don't go to a date when y'all was dating, just my baby mama after me. You don't do all that. You know what I'm saying? I ran up her credit card. Did you sit down with Gloria? I ran up my baby mama credit card. She left me. I keyed her card. Gloria would have been doing this.
Right.
Accident. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? You know,
you're right.
You got to know how to talk to the banks. Yes. Y'all put on your best clothes. Yes. We put on them Skims and fake lashes. Y'all know how to show up.
Right.
I tell people the same thing. Show up with the bank the same way.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, we say that a lot, like, let your documentation dominate the conversation. Like, imagine walking in there with a business plan instead of, hey man, I want to do this and I want to add this. No, don't do all that. Like, we want to prepare you in our mentorship to have a business plan, because when you walk in there and now you got paperwork, they look at you totally different. Because imagine they probably see, you know, who knows how many people during the day asking for a business loan, trying to explain it. But if you take your time and sit down and write a business plan, you work with Sherry on your credit score, you get them numbers up,
Yes.
Now, when you go to the bank, it's a totally different conversation.
Most
It's like,
definitely.
let me show you this product, or let me show you would this work for you? You know, the whole conversation changes.
And let me tap in on that too, because one of the things that, okay, so I want to drop y'all this, because just pay attention. Banks are changing.
Yeah.
They're not just letting you come in and grab the bag anymore.
Yeah.
They want a relationship.
Yeah.
They want that long-term customer that they can open the doors to.
Yeah.
Before, there used to be a time where you can just join a credit union or a bank and go in and get you a $25,000 card.
Yeah.
But the rules are starting to change. And I'm telling you guys, you pay attention.
Yeah.
It's going to get tighter and tighter, because they're getting to the point where they only want to deal with a certain type of customer. And that goes back to what Sherry was stating. You know, you want to know why
Right.
the banks is not dealing with you, or you're upset about something. Get your business in order.
Yeah.
And then they'll do business with you.
And like you said, a secure product. If you got the low credit score, the secure product may be the way to go to start that. Even a business
levels to it.
Yeah, even a business relationship. Yeah.
It's levels to it. So start getting yourself in order. Like, there's levels to all of this. And there's nothing wrong if you went through a bad time in life, because life has been lifing with all of us. We all go through something in life, whether, like Sherry said, it's a divorce, or you got sick, you lost your job.
Right. Something.
You know, something may have happened to cause you to get off track, or to, you maybe miss some payments. Get yourself back on track, pay the bills, repair your credit, take responsibility, because that's where it starts first. It starts with you, because it's your credit, is your responsibility. And if you want to change your situation, start by fixing your credit, because it's going to open all the doors that you needed to open for you.
Yeah. And like Sherry, I think you and I had this conversation last week. It's like, even sometimes if you're in a startup business, you may have to do a personal loan in order to help you get into business loans or business credit. And that may happen. Then you got to learn the bureaus, like how we know the bureaus for our personal credit, but now you got to learn the bureaus for business credit. You know, you got Experian Business, you got Equifax Business, you got SBFE, Credit Safe. I mean, it's a Dun & Bradstreet. I mean, it's totally different stuff PayNet. I mean, it's totally different for what you're trying to do or what you're trying to buy. Like, we had a client a couple of days ago. She wanted to get a truck, and she wouldn't ask the lenders which bureau they looked at. I said, it's okay before you apply to ask them. Every lender may not be the lender for you just because you heard it on Instagram or TikTok. It may be you have to ask them, hey, what bureau do you pull if I want to buy this type of vehicle?
Let's keep it real. Right. So Marvin told her right off the bat, he was like, you're dealing with a broker. I think I'm dealing with the bank. Marvin was like, no. The questions that I just asked you and you told me, you're dealing with a broker.
Yeah.
So she calls him on the phone, and he was a broker.
A broker. Yeah. She asked him. I said, ask him, is he a broker? I said, a bank wouldn't respond like that. She started telling me what he was saying. And I said, that's not a bank. I said, stop dealing with brokers and go straight to the source, especially if you got the business credit score and you have a personal credit score. There's no reason to go to a broker. You can go to and people always ask me this, well, what's the best bank? What's the best credit union? I say the one that's close to your house.
Or the one you're doing business with. The one that you're already doing business with.
Yeah.
Now, my question, even for a lot of people, if they're starting off, I don't think people understand sometimes too the name. Like your name because I have been a customer with Bank of America, but a particular business they told me no to the no.
Right.
And it was because it has allude to real estate in the name. Sometimes you do, before y'all launch out, just start a name, maybe talking to somebody with some experience.
Yes.
Before you invest. Like, sometimes if you're already, in trucking or something like that, that's a little different. You're in here, you're making money. But if you're starting off as a new business, before you in that time,
Mhm.
really talk to somebody on the advice on the name
Yes.
and industry and where you're going to build that relationship, because
Yes.
different banks specialize in different things too,
Most
like
definitely.
different relationships. Some banks are just not going to deal with some industries.
Right. Right.
Bank of America don't really seem to want to work with real estate investors right now. And sometimes it could be, you know, the ebbs and flows of what they're going, you know, with
Yeah. Some
some
of them are just high risk industry. Some
Yeah.
yeah,
industries,
some
they're
of them
just-
just don't yeah,
Yeah.
you know what they want. But talking to like professionals like before you start up
Yes.
is
Yeah.
sometimes like y'all said, that mentorship on how you can set up. You
Yeah.
know,
And if anybody wants a free consultation, we offer free business strategy calls before you get into our mentorship. Like we had a guy today. Matter of fact, today,
Yeah.
he set a call with us. He's in real estate. His credit was like 670, I think 690, 700 on one bureau. He had some negatives, but I've seen enough credit profiles so I knew where to take him. And he couldn't believe it. We were on the phone. I told him, all
What to
right,
do.
yeah, I told him what to do. He got $30,000 within about an hour. He couldn't believe it. He was like going
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the part I love more than anything.
Yeah.
When a business owner's kind of got his back against the wall. Because what do we do most of the time? We always go looking for money when we need it.
There you
What
go.
we got to do is start going to look for money when we don't need it. I know
Most definitely.
we probably never have many of those times in life, but
Yeah.
it's like that's the honest truth. You got to appear that you don't need the money. That's when the bank wants to give it to you. But luckily, he had a bureau that was still clean. What the score was pretty high. We got him the 30,000. He's in our mentorship, and he was. When I say this man is so happy, he couldn't believe it. And like you said, you know, speaking to the high risk industries, you have to realize, like, especially when it comes to real estate, you should really concentrate on small banks and credit unions. Like we put too much trust in the big banks.
Yeah.
Like lately, Gloria and I have been going to banks I've never heard of. And it's because a lot of times we always want to chase the American Express. It's more for ego than anything. Like keeping it real. and it's like these little banks. I never forget the first time I got approved for $250,000. It was from a bank I had never heard of. I accidentally walked in there. It was like a guy had gave me a check. I didn't know if he really had it. So I was like, I'm gonna take it to his bank. And luckily, that same bank I started a relationship with.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So don't always put your trust. And that's what we teach our students. Stop always looking for Amex and Chase. You might be right around the block from getting $200,000, $300,000 from a bank close to your home.
Most definitely.
I'm going to give you my address. Me and Diamond. Diamond, how much you want?
Right.
Right.
150,000. We got to give Marvin our address so we
can
pay.
Yeah, because you know sometimes you look over that stuff and it may be literally right around you.
And I see a few small banks, Diamond, you know, because we don't live far about. It's just a bunch of small banks.
Yeah, it's a lot of small banks around here. Yeah.
And I was like, it's a lot of small little banks. And so what you're saying, the dollars and the gems could be in those small banks.
That was a really good tip. That was a good tip.
Yeah. Like the first time it happened, Sherry and
Hold on, y'all put some dollar signs in the chat.
Right.
If y'all to go and get a bag from a small.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the first time it happened, I never believed it. I didn't believe it because I met the president. He just so happened to be there.
Obama was it?
No. I met the president of the bank. No. I'm saying I met the president of the bank. And I'm saying it was shocking because you're not going to meet the president of Amex or the president of Chase or the president of Bank of America, but you can at a small bank meet the decision maker.
Most definitely.
You know, I mean, and that's what happened. It was so weird to me because he said, Marvin, I want to go out and see your real estate. We literally jumped in his car one day and went out and looked at my investment property.
Wow.
And that was the first time I got approved for such a large amount. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to 12 more. So I went, but I didn't do it. But I didn't do it all at once. I didn't do it all at once.
Let me ride with y'all.
Right. And the logic is you make a plan, kind of back to what Diamond said earlier.
Yeah.
I made a plan that I knew the 12 banks that I wanted a relationship with.
Yep.
And I didn't rush to go set up a checking account. I actually met with them, because like you said, they want us as customers. So it's kind of like, instead of us always going to the bank like, oh Lordy, I hope I get approved.
Help me, please.
Help me, please.
Right.
You got to go in there
with that confidence.
with confidence. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You got that credit profile right. You go in there with your paperwork and no.
Remember the small bank in Georgia where we lived at? Remember that story?
Yeah. They came. We went in to open up an account. Very small bank. That's when Marvin changed my mindset, and he was like, you know what? We need to go be a part of this bank over here.
Little bitty bank.
That little bank. And he said, yes. He said they have all the money.
Yeah.
So we go in. They look at us like, the lady had boxes, and she was like, how can I help you? And I was like, I guess she was moving some stuff to the storage.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we're going to open an account. She was like, well, you have to have a 680 to be able to open up an account here. And kept walking like we didn't have it.
Yeah,
Marvin was like, excuse me, where's the application?
Mm-hmm.
So we went from, being rude to us to, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Can I help you?
Can I help you? And
do you need a Coke?
When I started depositing money every week in the bank, they be like, Gloria, Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
It was like, they got real cool with us after that. It was like, after we start putting money and they start seeing our, they were able to see our credit score, because this particular bank, if you don't have at least a 680, you couldn't get in.
Right.
So after we started doing that, everything changed. It was like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and
And to your point, Sherry, that little bitty bank in the area we lived in, they did all the major real estate
Wow.
deals that were going on. Like hospitals, office buildings. They did all the major developments.
They put that hospital right down. Yeah.
And that's why I was telling Gloria, like, when people are looking for real estate, we're able to show them in our mentorship, like, you're going to the wrong banks asking for the wrong products.
We got some bangers too.
Diamond, what you doing on Tuesday? We getting in the car together. We Thelma and Louise. We gonna be like, set it off. But we
okay.
We hitting up all the small banks.
Right.
Yeah. You be Jada. Let's go.
Right.
I'm telling y'all, we got some bangers, and the wonderful thing about us is that we have direct relationships now. And we have so many banks that we have direct relationships with, until they're gonna call us and tell us, hey, I looked at Miss Sherry's file, and she needs blah 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 blah. They're gonna call us and tell us.
And they might be like, Marvin, it's a little tight, but if we can get her on the phone and we can kind of figure this out, we'll try to push it through. So it's like all these relationships we got that, like, I just told one of our other mentees today, I said, look, he just got started. So I said, all right, Monday, I'm gonna link you up with the banker, and then we'll see what he has. And he was like, well, what about the other 4 banks? I'm like, man, slow down now. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes now. Let's get this first one.
Oh my God.
Yes.
But it does feel like that, because I know when I started getting that business, and that's why I try to reiterate, if y'all got good credit scores, it could really be that easy.
Yes.
It can work.
Direction, and I know his excitement. You do have to slow yourself down.
Yes.
If you're not a rational person, and this is where with Marvin, you do want, once you have this money, because me and you talked about it.
Yeah.
You need a plan. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
That's another part people don't understand. You got to make this money work for you, because like me and you was talking.
Yeah.
You can get that 2 million. And that's what he was like. You was telling me, you can get the 2 million, but you got to start paying it back once you get the
Yeah.
so that's the part that people that I see now, and why the banks are tightening up, people want to get the bag, but they didn't have a plan. You know what I'm saying? And they're right back, or they mess it up. And so you really want to have a strategy on where you're going.
And like Diamond said too, you know, use social media. We do that as a part of our mentorship too. We tell them use social media because this is how you're gonna bring in more sales. And I got a similar story to Diamond. Right in the beginning of COVID, I wanted to go get my hair cut at the barbershop. You know, guys in the barbershop, I'm like, babe, I gotta go to the barbershop. So I go to the barbershop. He got paper all over the windows. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Man, the health department, they tripping if anybody come in here. You know, all of this. So I said, look, man, I said, you put on a mask. I'm going to put on a mask, put some gloves on. Go ahead, show them on social media. I said, go live, clean everything, and then start cutting my hair. Blew up. Business blew up. He ended up doubling the size of his barbershop. And now he has a selfie stick above, so he can get, you know, he has
the light
over you. Yeah, he can show you cutting his hair over you, and he's got one on the mirror in front. I mean, his barbershop is doing real well. So,
and he's part of the reason why we kind of have a mentorship, because we helped him scale. I couldn't stand him at first. You know, he's right there
in our plaza.
And it was like I was like, why he's so rude all the time? But then when I got to know him, and Marvin would coach him every single day. Marvin took him under his wing, helped him get his credit A1. Like
he got an SBA loan. We ended up taking him to the SBA.
Man, he scaled all the way. Like got a trucking company.
He got a trucking company.
He ended up getting tour. He just had multiple streams of income. And I am so proud of him. I am so proud of him.
You can speak to something because you handle a lot of our marketing. And talk about that, because that's a challenge for people who are trying to get business. There's a lot of business that we actually pay for on social media. So that business credit can be an avenue to promote your business and tell them about some of those streams, because Marvin and Gloria, y'all know about that. Advertisements might be if y'all have capital to do that. And talk about some of the cost-efficient ways, Diamond, for advertising for business.
Yeah, well, the first thing is that we want to focus on is definitely organic traffic, because people want to connect with you. They want to know about you. They want to see a face to a business. And that's what any business nowadays, like, people don't want to just purchase from a place. They want to know that people are very heavy on value sharing. And so they want to know that you have the same values as them. So getting on social media, even if you're not showing your face, because I know that's a big thing for people. They don't want to show their face for whatever reason. But I tell people, use your voice, because people have to connect to you in some way. And if you're making videos on social media or whatever the case is, and somebody's just scrolling, there needs to be something identifiable about you. So with that being said, when people are able to identify you either by your voice, by your face, or by something that can set you apart from other people, they will purchase anything that you kind of put in front of them, because they want you, they want to understand you. And I think that it's all about, when we go back to the basics of social media, it's all about community and building that community. And I was a witness to that in the chat, where there's people talking to one another in the chat, and they're like, hey, they're sharing information between each other just from us being here on this platform. And there are a lot of people in the chat saying, I'm so glad that I caught this live today, because they're communing with one another. And so just utilizing the internet in that way is really important, because it's about building relationships. Now, going off of that, I wanted to ask Marvin and Gloria a question about relationships in particular, because one thing that's very evident, even as we met them, is that they are great at socializing. They're great at networking. They're like amazing. And especially Gloria. Gloria has this like such a fun personality, and she just connects with
Thank
everybody immediately. And I wanted to know, how does building those relationships help in business? And is that just something that's a part of your personalities, that you guys are just extroverted, or is that something that you had to kind of learn how to do to put yourself out there?
That's a good
And
one.
how has that helped your business
And
overall?
just one thing, audience, I'm about to drop the link. Do
Oh.
y'all mind taking questions? Because it's a lot of questions. I mean, just
Oh yeah.
coming up, because
Yeah.
somebody is asking you guys questions. So I just want to let them know, and I'm going to drop the link. Sorry. Okay, go
Okay.
right ahead.
No, to what Diamond was saying. Actually, I know this is gonna sound funny, but I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
and you know, when I started in construction, imagine I was in construction. It wasn't a lot of polite interactions all the time. So I was rather introverted. But then when I got out of construction, I realized the more that I met people, the more that I interacted. I've had some of the weirdest meetings that turned into great business relationships.
Right.
So yeah, talking, networking. I mean, Gloria says now I've never met a stranger, probably.
Yeah, we have my friends have a running joke. Marvin is Noah Guy Marvin.
Yeah.
So, but for me, I've always just been like a very people person. I just love people. That's why, like, Marvin and I own a restaurant in Georgia, you know, and that's why we have that restaurant, because I love people. I go around and I table touch, and you know, it just, for me, my spirit is, it gives me great pleasure to be able to keep someone from going through some of the things that I went through. So,
Right.
you know, and not making the mistakes that I made. That's why I love talking to people. I love, you know, like Marvin was talking about the new client that we got today.
Yeah.
And you know, Marvin was on another Zoom call.
Yeah.
So I had to call him back. He had text Marvin, was like, "Oh my God, I was approved. Can you call me?" So I called him back, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is Gloria. It's you." Like, I got the bag, and I couldn't do that for like nothing, you know. But he was like, "I listened to your videos on YouTube, and you said, let us show you how to get the bag." And he said, "I got the bag." You know, so that's just an amazing feeling. You know what I'm saying? When somebody was like, "I got that bag," and you know, just to be able to light someone else's life up, it's amazing. And it's, for me, it's just the simple things, you know, like when I go to the restaurant and they're like, "Oh my God, the food is just so good," and that makes me feel good, because it makes me, it pushes me to do more. So they're helping me as well to keep that right attitude and to keep pushing, you know.
Right.
So I love dealing with, when I tell you I love helping people, it just it makes me so happy. It gives me comfort when I go to bed at night to be able to say, "Dang, I helped him. He was just like right at the edge of like, oh my God, I need the money to finish this house, and I just don't have it. And okay, well, let us see how we can work this out, you know."
Yeah. And he was, you know, and like Gloria said, I love that part as well. Being able to take somebody from he was almost discouraged at the beginning of the call. Yeah. But by the end of the call, man, he probably called me like 3 more times. Like, like, "Mrs. Smith, I just can't believe it." He's like, "Y'all are for real. Like, I didn't think I was going to be able to finish this house." He said, "Man, you just don't understand." And so what we're trying to say now is, as a business owner, learn the habit of, you know how to run your business, right? But learn the habit of actually raising capital on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, most business owners raise capital one time. When they get started, or when their credit gets straight, and then that's it. And think about this. We give money to companies every year. Every year we're gonna buy a new iPhone. Yeah. So we're helping those companies raise money.
You know, or we playing our Netflix, because baby, I don't miss my Netflix. That's coming out every single month.
You know, and when we buy stock, we're helping these companies raise money. So think about your smaller company. You have to keep sitting down every 3 to 6 months and look at capital. Okay, what bank are we targeting next? Like you said, Diamond, what we doing Tuesday? We going to a little bitty bank. You know, that should be a part of it. We go shopping for food, clothes, cars, all of this. But when do we go shopping for our business to have more capital? And I'm not saying to go in debt. We're not preaching, hey, go get in a bunch of debt.
Yeah.
What we're saying is I would rather have it
Than
and not need it than need it
and not have
it.
Most definitely.
You know, so we're just telling business owners, get yourself prepared. Like what we went through with COVID, who would have ever thought the whole world was shut down? Now everybody knows who the SBA was. At first, people didn't even think about the SBA. You know, and like now you just got to realize that as a business owner, raising capital is a skill set all by itself.
Yes.
And another thing I just want people to know, and Diamond, then I want you to read those questions. We're going to get to the people questions. A lot of people have a misconception of debt when it comes to business. Walmart is not paying out of their pocket. For all those that you have. Like people say, oh, you're trying to get people in debt a lot of time. First of all, your dollar that you're talking about ain't nothing but debt. It's an IOU. When people say cash is king, cash is non-existent anymore. Let's just keep it 100. The reason why your inflation is so high, y'all, because cash ain't king anymore.
That's right.
You're better off at this point, sad to say, by growing that credit than having that cash sit in that bank. That cash you can flash as, hey, you know, I got savings for some responsibility, but tell the truth and shame the devil. The reason why a lot of y'all are having a tough time and you're only working a job because of high inflation is because they keep printing that. And cash is not a store of value anymore. They're really robbing you through the financial system. So I just want y'all to really understand businesses. Elon Musk, when he bought Twitter, he didn't go and get cash out the bank.
Right.
A lot of people don't understand that. He leveraged the assets that he had and he got credit. So that's what keep a lot of people poor. They don't understand how to leverage cash to make money. They leverage cash because they're not getting assets, you're getting liabilities.
Exactly.
And Warren Buffett, all the great investors, they'll tell you, he'll say, we got too much cash, go buy something.
Yes.
But he's not buying something that's a Gucci bag. You see what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Or if they are buying things, it's artwork that's going up in value. Most people don't understand. You trying to get somebody in debt. A lot of y'all buy is what you buying is your property.
Right.
I just have to clear that up because people would get on my channel all the time. Oh, you talk about credit, trying to get people in debt. No, what we're trying to tell you, you're not going to have a good credit score, and y'all know it, unless you can manage 6 credit cards.
Yes.
Say it again.
Yes.
On your personal credit profile. And a lot of people are scared of that when you tell them that because they just don't have self-control.
Correct.
And we have to say this because unless going back to your personal credit profile is set up right, if you don't have a credit card over $5,000, and we're saying on really average credit lines, you can't get to that business credit. This is why we're saying the banks got to see you be self-responsible in your own life. Even the Bible talk about that in Timothy about a pastor. You must run your own house first.
First.
Before you run the house of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? This is why we look at presidents. Most presidents have to be married. You manage. It never been a single president.
Right. No, you're right.
And this is why they fight to keep their family mess covered up, because nobody wants you running the country if your own personal life and your children is a mess. So it's the same thing with the banks. It's the same thing. Y'all judge people at that same standard. You don't want me and Gloria or Diamond telling you about credit, and our credit is busted. Somebody was up there and expose us. Oh, expose you. You found bankruptcy days ago. They were shady because common sense tell you you can't give this advice or expect to, want to be a leader or somebody to value you as a leader, and you can't manage your own self. So that's the same things with the banks, you guys. So I'm not trying to, we just giving you paradigm shifts.
No, that's true.
That's all. I'm just saying that just to understand that cash is king people are talking about, it's really not that way anymore. It used to be when we were attached to the gold standard, but I'm telling y'all right now, the way they're robbing you, why everything is going up except your paycheck, is because they're printing that cash. And if you're sitting on cash right now, they're actually robbing you. It's one of the biggest lies that if you say $50,000 and it took you 10 years, once they start printing it, they cut it down to 25 overnight. But I can leverage my name right now and I can get access to 50,000.
I know that's right.
Without working. Y'all see, that's what Corey was trying to tell y'all. Credit is for poor people. If you're a poor person and know how to leverage your name, you can get 50,000 overnight.
Yeah. You just got to make a plan.
You show income, and you can get that overnight. You can get 20,000 overnight.
Yeah.
So that's why I want y'all to understand, you can grow your credit lines if you know how to manage it, where that money won't grow. Because if it's sitting in that bank where they're only giving you, what is it, 0.02%?
Right.
It's not growing, y'all. So this is one of the biggest lies, that they're telling you. They're robbing you with this financial money system.
Correct.
I'm telling y'all, I get silver and gold. Every month turn that out. The reason why is just to secure my money. It's not really an investment, but to secure what my economic power is. But credit, we're telling you, Walmart, for everything you buy there, they didn't pay cash for it.
Right.
They got these lines that he's talking about.
Yes.
These credit lines, net 30s, net 60s, whatever. That what Gloria is talking about, how she run her business right now. That's what they're
how you do it. Yeah. And
like so I'm sorry, I didn't mean we got one person here that we want them to come up. Just hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good.
Thank you. I was asking about the credit because I had a business credit card. Actually, it had like a limit of $10,000, but when COVID hit, I lost it, and so they did some sort of write-off on it. It was like some sort of forgiveness thing that they was doing because of COVID. And so I went ahead and got rid of that. That's off my credit. It never even showed on my credit. But now all I have left is a student loan. Because they at first they had it in some sort of deferment to where I didn't have to pay because it was based on my income. But all that stuff went away. And so now they're requesting all that back. And so I was trying to get a credit card. And when I tried to apply, my credit score is 648. And I still have that student loan on there. And then there's an old collection that popped back up because I disputed it probably like 2.5, almost 3 years ago. And I got it taken off my credit, but then it popped back up the latter part of last year. So it's back on there. And so that's the only thing that's on my credit. And I tried to apply for a card and I was declined. And I did it through Experian because they had recommended cards. I think it was the Capital One Vintage, and it was another one. Both of them were Capital One, and I was declined for both. And I'm trying to figure out how I can do that because I know about the business credit card because I stumbled upon it by accident. But yeah, so that's kind of the situation I'm at. So like, do I have to take care of the student loan, or where do I need to start?
Yeah, you definitely would have to start with the student loan, and you definitely want to work with the collection, because when it comes to business credit, like we were saying, they don't want to see any blemishes like that. They want to see a full responsibility. And y'all can chime in because y'all definitely know about personal credit. I would suggest student loan rehabilitation. Reach out to them to see what you can do to rehabilitate that student loan,
Mm-hmm.
because that's something that's not going to go away unless you're disabled or some kind of student loan forgiveness come in, or if you are qualified for certain programs as being a teacher. But you definitely want to rehabilitate or a fresh start program with that student loan, so that can, you
Okay.
know, take care of that. um Far as the collection, you can send a debt validation letter
Mm-hmm.
directly to the collection company, and you can also dispute with the credit bureaus that collection.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing that I wanted to ask you all was about, are you all familiar with the bill of an exchange? Hold on, let me say it correctly. Bill of exchange when it comes to paying off certain debts. Have you all heard of that? Are you all familiar with that? And that's basically, it's basically where you are acting as kind of like a trustee to your own account that's backed by your social security number.
Yeah.
I have heard of those concepts, but I myself would probably not. Uh, I'm not. I know a lot of people have different. I don't know Gloria and Marvin on y'all take.
Oh, no, we
Yeah,
wouldn't recommend that
I
either.
wouldn't either. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have a lot of different states. I do know like sovereign citizens and things of
Mhm.
that nature, but there's some people that have gotten into legal trouble. And where I always really err on caution, if this go left, can I deal with the consequences of going left?
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
And me, I can chime in. I had one of the best guys back in the day. The first time I heard about that, I asked him to come to my house, do a little seminar, me and a couple of my buddies. And I did what Sherry said. I said, so what happens with the people that have taken over a house or paid this off and paid that off? He said, oh, yeah, a lot of them guys locked up. I was like, you know what? Seminar is over. I'm gonna take you back to your hotel. I'm good. So I would just say, Miss Rise, I've heard more bad than good. And even
Most
that
definitely.
guy, that particular guy I'm telling you about, he's got to be close to 70, 80 years old. He's locked up right now.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Yeah, wow. That
I read an article and he was locked up. I said, oh my God. So I would just say, with the information that Sherry has and Diamond has on their channel, follow whatever they're going to teach you about credit. I just don't believe there's any shortcuts in life.
Especially when it comes to credit.
Yeah, and especially
Like
when
you
it comes
said,
to
you
credit.
went like you had it removed the collection and it came back. That tends to happen,
Yeah.
Um, I would recommend that, you can do the validation letter and or you can settle with them because they'll take pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, negotiate. I used to have a collection company and I bought, just so you know, FYI, I was buying debt at 6 cents on a dollar. So six. So imagine if you negotiate hard enough, you may be able to settle that debt for 50% of what it is or 30%.
Mhm.
It's all about you negotiating. If you can't pay it, the full amount, which I wouldn't if they wrote it off, I would try my best to negotiate with them to get them to take a much lesser amount. And don't be afraid to say a low number.
Mhm. I
I
agree.
just will watch what you're saying on the phone with them. I'll be honest. Listen, baby, if you need that kind of help, come see me. That's all
Yeah,
I say. I
yeah,
just come see me, to be honest, because sometimes you just gotta pay.
yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
honest. You
yeah,
just really gotta not pay
yeah,
them, but I'm saying pay for the help. That's what they were talking about, the mentorship,
yeah,
Yeah.
to pay for the help that you need. I
yeah.
had a collection the other day. I shared with my group, Diamond, with you. It was PenFed credit. I didn't owe them nothing. I called the original creditor and I knew I didn't owe it. Me and my
Yeah.
husband. And they were trying to hit me with this. And if I would have paid it, it would have been on my credit report. I sent a
Right.
validation letter and I placed a phone call and told her I wish one of y'all would put this on my credit report because I'm going to sue you for defamation of character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm not an advocate of negotiating with them, not a third party.
Yeah.
I know somebody, I understand, I do owe, but at the same, token, I would send a debt validation letter
True.
and go with those steps. And if you need help, we have the elite credit system and we can help you with that. But that or dispute with the credit bureaus.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the same time, work on your business credit even while you're going through these steps on your personal credit. Because you'll be surprised that the time that you're spending on your personal credit, you could be trying to build up your business credit score with net 30s or net 60s. It may not be the Visa or the MasterCard, but it may buy you some time in your business or give you extra funds in your business as well.
But one thing, get a plan, because you said you had a business credit card, but you haven't mentioned a plan on what doing in business. So that was something else we mentioned. Is not just to get a business credit card just to buy regular things with. We're talking about putting that credit to work for you, so you don't have a situation where you can't pay your bills. Because even with your business credit, it's much different than personal credit. That stuff that is not governed by the FCRA. So it can take, things can stay on your business credit profile for 10 years if you're not careful. So what we're saying is you want to do things right. And we're not just bringing you like some other hustle. That's not what we're trying to tell y'all, to do these things to make cash flow. And because of the things that I'm talking about with the government system, I'm sorry, y'all, things are going to get worse.
I agree. Definitely. I agree. It's going to be more documentation. You're going to, it's not like get those credit scores up. And then, one big thing that we see, make sure you deposit all your money in your business banking account. Yeah. We talk to lenders all the time.
Can you have a business?
Right.
Come on, Gloria. Now business.
Right.
I'm not shaming y'all because we all have been there.
Yeah.
Yes,
a lot of people that are sole proprietorships, you don't even have a business bank account.
Yes.
You got to get a business bank account.
Oh, definitely.
And how many people that say, I got my LLC? How long? For 3 years. Have you got a business bank account? Well, no. But it's 3 years old. No, they tracking it on that business bank account when you start. That's how old that business is.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
The bank rating, the banks, the business credit bureau, especially if you would Chase, Capital One, Citibank, some of those big banks, that's being tracked. Also, your bank rating have a lot to do with how much money you get into. So people, that's why they say about mentorship, because it's levels to that side.
Yes.
And so a lot of people don't even have a business bank account.
That's so true.
But they said, I got a business.
You don't have a business until you have a business bank account.
Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal are money transfer accounts. They are not bank accounts.
They're not bank accounts, y'all.
Yeah.
And some of y'all making the money, and this gentleman can get you money, but you just didn't put it and haven't been using a business bank account.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes.
So that's a big thing. Believe it or not, people don't understand. Diamond, you run across that all the time. People say, I have an LLC, but they haven't paid their fees. They haven't been paying their fees, and they don't have a business.
Well, they'll have an LLC and no business plan whatsoever, neither. And that never made any sense to me. I was like, so what's the LLC about? I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. What's the I don't really have one.
And that's the thing, because without knowledge, people don't understand. And like y'all saying, depending on what you're doing, you might have set up that structure. It might not be the best structure for you, and that might vary state by state depending on what you're doing too. Because sometimes you might need an S corp instead of an LLC, or maybe just a regular corporation might have been a C corp, might have been your best depending on what you're doing. And
Yep.
it could be depending on the state that you're doing it in, you
Yeah.
know. So
That's so
that's
true.
why Diamond is saying, and people might not know that, because tell them too, your business credit score is bad. It's just like your personal credit score. If you don't have anything, they're going to judge it by the industry that you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people have to understand about your business that you're going in and your risk. You know,
Yeah,
what's the risk of that business? Because sometimes just certain businesses is going to have a lower credit score because you're just in a risky, not maybe because they're going to judge you. Not, I don't want to scare y'all, but I'm just saying sometimes compared to another business, you're never going to have that credit score of that business because you might be in trucking. You have a riskier business than a company that let's say is a media company, you know, an advertising company, something that might be considered less risk than something that is a cannabis company.
Right, right.
You know, so it's you want to know what kind of business you're doing before you set up the structure.
Yes. And like you said, you know, we heard a major bank last week. I haven't verified it, but they said if they go to for a business product, if you don't have an Equifax profile, you won't get their business products.
Wow.
So like you said, having no credit on the business is just like having bad credit. And that's why I was giving her the advice, even while you're waiting to work on your personal credit, keep working on your business credit. And then don't go start the net 30 accounts that you hear on the internet. Start the net 30 accounts that you will use on a regular basis in your business. Because sometimes people have set up accounts because they heard it on the internet and then they don't use it. And like Sherry said, they're not governed by the FCRA. So those accounts may fall off. They may not be there 3 months from now if you don't actually use it. So, you know, set up net 30s, net 7s, whatever it is in your industry. Ask a lot of questions. In business, one thing I learned, like Diamond said earlier, I got to ask questions. I got to talk to people. I got to network, because you may not realize that it's certain net 30 accounts you can get from a vendor that you do business with. Like Gloria has some net 7s at the restaurant.
I do, with my food order. So I order my food and I don't pay it till 7 days later.
Right.
So I make the money and then I pay them.
Exactly.
And another part that people don't understand about business credit, unlike your personal credit score, you get a credit card, they're going to report just about to everybody. Like they business credit, not every business credit line is going to report to the three big major business credit bureaus like Dun and Bradstreet, Experience Business, Equifax Business. So the Small Business Financial Exchange is not a credit bureau. It's more of a data house, but but they'll filter that information to Dun and Bradstreet. So a lot of y'all have, you know, Bank of America, they're the Small Business Financial Exchange, American Express. But they're not technically reporting to Dun and Bradstreet directly.
Correct.
So you need to understand too, what kind of business are you in? If you're not getting certain trade lines, like Gloria's saying, like for her, those net 7s or net 30s or 21s, depending on your business, you just paying for Quill and all of this stuff. Not liable to your business, like Marvin said. What is the point? You know what I'm saying? And you want to build. So you need to use those lines, and you can talk about that, Marvin. It's not like personal credit that I just have these lines open and they're reporting. No, you got to use those lines for them to report. And you're not paying it past that due date with those net 30s.
Correct.
You gotta pay it early, at least 5 days or a couple of days early. Because if you don't pay that on that day, it's late. Okay,
most definitely.
The due date is the 5th, and I got to 30 days later.
No, you don't. No, like you said, you got to pay it early, and then some of the same rules may apply. Ask for increases as you pay on time, but like you said, pay it early. And then opening up more accounts won't hurt the business credit. It'll actually help it. Like you said, the more accounts you have, like business credit, you might be looking at 14, 15, 20 accounts so that you'll have a really nice file. But don't let them all be $200 or $300 or $500.
Yes.
Really spend money with them so they'll go ahead and increase those. And then some of them, you know, like just say like for your Home Depots or your Lowe's, you know, some of those can turn into real credit cards. Then you can get a few. It's not a lot. Like people try to hype it up on the internet. You will get a few with no personal guarantee after you have, you know, like an 80 score. And then I think it's what Sam's Club has one with no personal guarantee. And there's several other banks, but you know, a lot of these banks may do it if you have the income. So it goes back to what we were saying, like you got to be actually making money too. This is not just to get money to go shopping, buy stuff. This is like to continually build your business. And like you said, use those accounts, because I've seen it before. Somebody, they set up accounts and then they got with us there. I said, well, let me see your business credit. We went to go look at it. The accounts they say that they opened were not on their business credit. And you got to do work to actually get these things to show up. You might have to make some extra phone calls because there are no laws where it has to show up. Like if you buy a car, that note is going to be on there next month. You ain't got to worry about it. but with business credit, it may not show up. It may or may not show up.
Or
you know,
it might take a while to show up. And
exactly.
You have to be patient and know the difference. A net 30 or net accounts are different. You still can get revolving credit card accounts. So, you know, this is what we're talking about, mentorship too, with people to know, because you don't want to jack up your business credit. You do want to plan, because like they said, like we're trying to say, a lot of people gripe about personal credit, but you do have protections. And you can go to the CFPB. There are, but you don't have that on the business credit side.
No, you mess up your business credit, you're gonna be jacked up for a minute.
You're on your own. You on your own. So that's what we're saying about mentorship, learning, and getting it right.
Exactly.
So thank you, Miss Rise, for joining us. And Diamond, I don't want to tie up people time. We want to just answer a couple of questions for the people in the audience. And if you need our help, you can, you know, join the Elite Credit System. So we thank you for coming on to the stage. Diamond, you can start asking some of these questions.
Yes, give me 1 second. I seen it was a lot of questions here.
And somebody gave a super chat, so we thank you guys for somebody gave $2 for the question to be answered.
Yes, for Knoxville Catcher. He just asked if you're still here on the live, can you let us know what your question is?
Hey, Monique Journey from the Hiltons. Hey.
Thank you for joining.
Hey, Monique.
And there was a couple questions about cash flow and earning cash flow, and Monique is definitely a person or a channel that you guys want to follow if you want to talk about earning money.
She's into the show.
Hopefully we could get her on one day.
Day too.
Yes. Someone had a question about medical collections. So they said, I have a medical collection on my credit report. They're adding on money to it every week, which is hurting her credit score. What should she do?
I think debt validation letter, I always go there, especially when it comes to medical collections, because there's HIPAA laws, guys. And so I always try to set them up with a regular smuggler debt validation letter. Let them hit me with a bill. I got a letter in my package that talk about this can violate HIPAA laws, and sometimes they drop off. They'll jump off of that. But the worst case scenario, if y'all don't know, with medical collections under $500, $500, they can be removed off. But I just want to tell y'all, be careful, because these people do get your name, like with me, and you could you might need to call your medical provider to make sure you didn't pay them. So
Yeah,
Yes.
do
exactly.
you
Yeah.
have any thing to add to that?
No,
No,
that was
no.
perfect.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's how to handle the medical collection.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. We had another question that said, if I buy a credit trade line, piggybacking to increase my credit score, would that account continue to appear closed even after the main user removes me from his account?
Y'all want to answer this? Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
it said about a trade. No, you can call the bureaus and get those removed. So
Yeah.
it's not your card, it's an authorized user. If they take you off, what I would do if it says terminated,
Or
most of the
closed.
time it'll say terminated.
Yeah.
And if it's not doing you any good, I would call the bureaus and ask them to remove it. Call Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, and just say, I'm not the primary card holder. Can you please remove this from my credit?
Okay. We had this is just a specific question about the elite credit system that I just wanted to address a case. Naomi was still on this live. If you have an account with Smart Credit, you can call the customer service number that is in the elite credit system. If you need that number, I'll go ahead and drop that in the chat in a moment. And just tell them that you have an account with them and they can connect it off for you. So I just wanted to address that really quick for the elite credit system. There was a question. My landlord of 25 years wants to pass me her house, but she has a reverse mortgage for about 12 years, have no credit. How can y'all help me? Is there an email or number that they can contact Gloria and Marvin from?
Yeah, she has the reverse mortgage. I would build your credit. I mean, as fast as possible, because if you want to probably refinance that property, and in order to do that, you're gonna have to build your credit. Shouldn't take long. I know Sherry has made tons of videos on how to build credit and trade lines you can add to your credit as well.
And your income is going to matter in that, because you
Yes,
don't have to have a super high credit score, you guys, through FHA, but you do
right,
have to have income to qualify for the home value that they're selling it for.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Sorry. So we have another question that says, what do we do? What do you do if you have no credit? So you're starting off completely blank.
If you have no credit, I'll say authorized user accounts, and
Yeah.
then you do have to get personal trade lines, which y'all got. A secured credit card could be a
Yeah.
Yes.
Most
start
definitely.
to
Yeah.
start building your credit and start using that. So that's where I would start. Authorized user accounts, and if you have absolutely no credit, a secured credit card, or if you're a student, there's certain student credit cards I would get even before the secured credit card.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like Discover is real good with student credit cards.
Mhm.
Discover is great, and it could be a great secured card that can convert over.
Most
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
Okay, so we got two more questions. Someone asks, where is the best place to apply for a loan if you have a 640 credit score?
My question is, why is the score 640? Well, that's
Right.
what we want to know, because if it's 640 and it's a new negative item, that could be a challenge, like a late payment,
Yeah.
kind of, no matter who you're going through.
Mhm.
But I would need more details on what's your
Definitely.
current credit score. What would you guys say?
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
same.
You need more details. It's not all about score, it's what's actually on the credit. Like you said, it could have been a 700 with a new 30-day late or something like that. And that's gonna get
Currently,
you.
yeah, late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
would need, I would definitely need more information to know why.
Mhm.
From Deborah, she says, while acquiring a business credit, I accumulated way too many inquiries. What is the best approach for removing inquiries?
You can dispute them.
Right.
Inquiries. There's certain ways, if they're open to current open accounts, you can't remove them. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. but you can dispute them under permissible purpose. You know, they have to prove that it was you that really actually requested for those lines of credit. I mean, for those inquiries on your credit report. So,
Right.
you guys, y'all suggest anything else?
Yeah, and I think just take your time. Stop. This is one of those cases where I always say, once you do get them deleted or you wait them out, one of the two, really slow down on. You shouldn't have a bunch of inquiries. You can get a lot of money by, like what Gloria and I are teaching our mentorship, by really going one bank at a time and maximizing the products. I think when people get too many inquiries, you're going to make the banks look at you like, obviously you don't care about relationship. So I think the next time around, the next time you do funding, slow down a little bit and see how many products you can get at one bank, no more than 3 banks.
And then another thing is, why was you pulling like that?
Right.
Were you getting, no, so you know what I'm saying? Were you getting
Yeah.
approved? Because normally people would stop. So
Yes.
you have credit issues that you need to address before you start looking for credit. That's the only thing, I would say, because pretty much if you got good credit and you chose the right bank according to their underwriting standards. So sometimes we need to slow down and, like you said, you got to do some research.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Bank, let's say Chase, they got the 524 rule.
Yes.
A lot of people like, I got an 850 credit score. If you got more than 5 new revolving accounts, they don't care what you got. It's a no.
Right.
The majority of the time. Now, there's some lures out there, like with Tupac, like being in Cuba, like that. You hear on some Reddit groups that we heard that they're not doing it with this promotion, but nobody ever knows.
Exactly. Exactly.
But and a lot of banks are going to that too, Sherry. The 5 and 24 rule. There's a lot of banks that are. So we got to be real careful.
Yeah.
Down and do everybody. That's another thing. I know it's hard, y'all. You gotta do your research, because banks are changing. That's what we saying. Going back to working with people that's doing it. Why it's valuable, because they see the changes, why it happened. You might not ever know.
Yeah, and then we got the bankers that are actually telling us, because just like bankers meet all the time about what industries they're targeting, what industries they're not targeting, or they're avoiding, and they meet about the different products that may be the newest promotion. I mean, they do this all the time.
And the internet messing y'all up.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Listen to the internet. I love watching videos on YouTube, but don't take it as the gospel. Like, this is true. No, still do more research to figure out, is this true? Because like you said, a lot of it is a bunch of myths.
No, a lot of it is true, but they all run in there at one time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it down too. Like a lot of this stuff where people say no dots. Everybody, when you're talking about, let's say 5,000 people see that video, and you got a couple of them running in there, and then they don't pay these banks back. The banks change underwriting real quick, y'all.
Oh, you're right about that.
We just seen a couple of banks. Just seen a couple of banks do
banks change it, right?
Yes.
So that's all. All I just gotta say, if it's true, you better jump on it and get going. And that's that. That's another part.
Yeah.
But we thank y'all, because Diamond, any more questions, or we'll just land it for tonight?
So if you guys want to reach out to Marvin and Gloria, I'm going to leave their links in the chat. And also, me and Sherry are here every week, Saturday at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. EST. And so we are going to, have this available as well. As soon as the live ends, you guys will be able to rewatch, or if you guys are coming in late, you can always go back to the video. And I'm also going to have the links in all the descriptions and in the comments sections there. I just wanted to thank Marvin and Gloria for coming for giving such amazing information. And if you guys want to tell the people where they can reach you at, what's the best place to reach you at, and how they can continue following you.
Yeah, the best thing to do, like you said, is follow us at Marvin and Gloria Smith. And then we have our links. It's Luxury Credit Secrets. And I'll make sure I give it to Sherry and Diamond. And you guys can set a free business strategy call. We normally spend about 15 minutes with you guys. We'll go over your business, see where you're at, and even see if you're a good fit for the mentorship. And, you know, we'll talk about it once we get you guys on there. Hear your plans and what you're trying to do with your business.
And don't get me wrong, we love everyone, but everyone can't be in the mentorship.
Right.
It's not for everybody, okay? And so we will give you that free call and talk to you and kind of analyze and go over your business. And even if you can't get in the mentorships, we may be able to drop you some gems that can help you where, you know, you may be able to get into it another time. Okay.
Yeah. And thank you guys, Sherry. Thank you, Sherry and Diamond, for having us on.
Yes.
And thank y'all for being on. I just saw one question, Diamond, I want you to address. I don't know. Somebody said, if you're currently in school and you got student loans, should they be charged right there? Should they be reporting while they're currently
student loan?
Yes, they're going to report while you're in school.
Okay, but they should report positive though. Not
right. They shouldn't report negative. They should report positive.
Yeah. They should report. And you guys, student loans are not bad if they're reporting positive. That's how I was able to get my first home from the door. They actually really helped my credit. As long as they're not reporting negative with late payments, student loans can be positive.
Yeah.
All right. So just to let y'all know. So thank y'all for coming in.
I had you
guys.
This question because I want to just make sure people have a lot of questions and we want to help y'all because we really love y'all as a community and we want to give y'all value. So, and we thank our guests tonight, Marvin and Gloria from Puerto Rico. They out there. And somebody asked why y'all out there. If y'all don't know, it's a lot of tax breaks being.
Oh yeah, a lot of tax breaks.
No federal nor what? Y'all, any state tax out there? It's no state, is it?
Well, on the payroll.
On the payroll.
On the payroll side, but
the federal is like 4%.
4% versus, you know, it was well in the 30s. So it was an easy move.
So they can tell y'all about it if y'all want that advice too, but don't tie up that call about that mess.
Right.
Because people will call you now, Diamond, to tell y'all.
No, thank you guys.
Y'all might be changing up that free call.
Really quick, I just wanted to give a thank you to DJ Luke, who donated $5
thank you, DJ
in the super
Luke.
chat. Thank you guys so much. And again, we're gonna, if you guys come back to this video, you're gonna find all the links for everybody's information.
And thank you guys. Y'all have a blessed night, everyone.
Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Everyone have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.